If Joe Flacco is worth a 4th-round pick, Antonio Brown might be worth a negative 5th-round pick.
Again, I'm just a fat dude sitting on the couch, but I watch a lot of football.
I'm here to kick ass and make steaks, and I'm all out of steaks.
Year 1, he was like, all right, guys, I don't know what Dom taught you, but you need to have 11 guys on the field.
A trained orangutan could have done a better job than Ron Jones. I mean, not even well trained.
Welcome, Packers fans and patrons, to the Titletown Sound podcast. This is your November bonus show, and we decided that we wanted to do this bonus show live and let people, bullshit along with us because it's election night and we've just about gone crazy. And I want to stop watching CNN because if I have to hear about Miami-Dade County one more goddamn time, I'm going to kick that guy and his magic board. How you guys doing?
I'm glad I don't live in Miami-Dade County, and let me tell you why. I think that no, sorry, I don't want to kick the board.
Look, I want to say to everybody who's listening now, if you're a patron, you'll get this audio in your feed. We did open this up as a live show just because we wanted people to watch us and make fun. But Kevin, we're not abandoning. I mean, it's a big news night. It's a big night for the election, so we're not abandoning that. We've had our news desk working all day.
Yeah, we've have a lot of trained monkeys on staff typing up our news stories for us, coming in hot off the wire. And yeah, we the whole goal of the show is to bring some news to our listeners.
And I think the producer is in my ear and telling me we've got a bit of breaking news. Let's see what that is.
This is TTSO's Decision 2020, where our election coverage always lasts longer than 4 hours.
TTSO is projecting that results for the Prairie State's 18th Congressional District will be totally ordinary as the people of Normal, Illinois showed up to vote in typical fashion.
That's huge if true, guys. That is huge.
They say that Normal is the bellwether of America.
They do.
And guess what, guys? That's going to that's going up on the data board here.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, we're going to count that as a bullseye for Illinois.
Right. So Illinois right now is ahead. Illinois is ahead.
Yep, Illinois.
Okay, Illinois is ahead. All right. We can do better.
Where's Illinois?
That goes to 11.
Yeah, it does.
Kev, you gotta be a little louder. James, you specifically, James. Do people in the Midwest still say Illinois? Like, do some say that?
No.
White, like a East Coast white trash thing. Is that what you're telling me? Because I think
no. I think it's around the country. I think a lot of people say Illinois. They can't understand the concept of the silent S. But
noise.
I don't like that either. But we also. Most everybody around the country also says Wisconsin, Wisconsin.
That's true.
Eastconsin and Westconsin.
Yeah, I mean which there is a legitimate Eastern Wisconsin and Western Wisconsin. I mean that's a real thing.
East Wisconsin is just very confusing.
Right. I mean if you get anywhere west of, let's say, we're gonna go with Toma. Then you're probably in West Wisconsin, and then Toma might be a little far west. Madison, I'm going to go with Madison. Anything west of Madison is Wisconsin. Anything east of there is Illinois.
Madison. We had 2 cases of beer. We were in a Jeep Cherokee. Man, that was a night.
First of all, if you've ever been to Toma, that's all they have there is a Jeep Cherokee and 2 cases of beer.
That sounds like my kind of town.
It's a town.
Guys, am I any louder now?
No.
Yeah, wait, to me you are. Yeah, you are.
How about now?
Yes, that's better.
All right, cool. All right. I finally, after 5 episodes of using this microphone, found where I could adjust my volume. So hopefully it's better.
It's showing up as better when I look at Audacity. All right. We have managed to get, looks like 5 minutes and 34 seconds into the show gentlemen, before we mention the Green Bay Packers. That may be a personal best. I'll have the statistician check. I think we have to go to the Elias Podcasting Bureau. They compile those statistics.
Yo, Elias, is that a record?
So, Kevin, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I was taking notes for my next segment.
Are you right?
I'm getting it's you guys. This one is the show, and then this one is the AP news desk, and I'm just hammering out news stories for later on in the show, guys. So don't mind me.
I'll let you.
The hardest working man in podcasting.
We're definitely the hardest something.
What we're going to talk about right now, James, is something I didn't want to discuss, and that's the Packers shitting the bed against the Vikings.
Do we have
Kevin, I may require you to participate in this conversation. Without let's not get too. I don't want to get too far into like X's and O's and bullshit. But what the hell?
X's and hoes.
Well, what ended up happening was that the Minnesota Vikings were already a one-dimensional team when they went into that game, and then the wind made them, infinitely more one-dimensional, and the Packers defense couldn't fucking stop them. No matter what, they knew what they were going to do. They knew it was, give the ball to Dalvin Cook and let him run. And that's all they fucking did 30 times. And nobody on that defense was interested in tackling. I mean, it was a mess from beginning to end. The offense was really good in the first half. The offense had -2 drives in the first half. I don't even know how they scored points. But they played well and they scored. And then in the second half happened and they had to play from behind, and in that weather, it's difficult. And Equanimeous St. Brown kept dropping passes, and it was just no Aaron Jones. I think really hurt the Packers this past weekend.
Yeah, I think we're learning that Aaron Jones is more important. I mean, we all know that Aaron Jones is an important part of this offense, right? But to see him missing from a game, and I think at least as a Packers fan, Kevin, for the last several years, the last 2 quarterbacks, you think to yourself, yeah, running back's a luxury. Missing Aaron Jones won't hurt too much, but it did.
Yeah, and Jamal Williams has been pretty good this year when they've needed him. But I think for this team to be successful, they need Aaron Jones catching passes out of the backfield. That's a big-time target for Rodgers. And without him, you've basically got one receiver down, and you've got Equanimeous St. Brown dropping balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to stop. I'm going to pause the show for a second because Libby Pillar is in the chat, the live show. That gives us instantly more street cred. That's all. It doesn't give us that either. But Kevin, I think I don't know. Were you getting something in your ear? Because the producer mentioned something about we may have a breaking story.
Oh yeah, it's big.
It's big. All right. Well, let's.
Yeah.
Continuing coverage with TTSO's Decision 2020. Is it 4 more years of a Republican, or will America get the D?
This is breaking news out of Massachusetts. It appears question 6 will be struck down by the people. It was a referendum. Hot dogs will not have the same legal rights as sandwiches moving forward.
Wow. Wow.
I don't want to live in a world.
The pollsters missed that one.
I don't want to live in a world where hot dogs are not given equal rights to sandwiches.
And I don't want to entertain this conversation because it's so trite. But for the record, I don't know where I stand on the head is a hot dog a sandwich question. And that bothers me more than the question.
I think that's a good point. No, I think that's valid. It's because in some forms it is, and other forms it clearly is not.
Because there are also sandwiches that you're pushing that's not really a sandwich. That is like a meat envelope.
Correct. Now, if you were to take a hot dog, nice, that sounds nice. If you were to take a hot dog and thinly slice it and then put it on a hot dog bun, I mean that's the thing. It's essentially the same thing at that point. A miniature meat hoagie.
This is a little bit different. What I've had is I've had a hot dog and I just chucked it down a hallway.
I've tried that once or twice myself.
All right, so that's the news for now. Let's get back to the game. I think it's important that we get back to the Packers. So the weather is a bigger factor than I think a lot of people might be admitting, James. they really couldn't get much going other than a running game, which wasn't, was missing Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, without, like Kevin said, without Aaron Jones getting passes out of the backfield and stretching the defense, it just, even with Tyler Ervin back, it just wasn't working. Effectively, they're down to one wide receiver with Devontae Adams if MVS keeps disappearing and Equanimeous St. Brown is dropping passes and Allen Lazard still isn't back. So I mean, you got to have another weapon to give the ball to, and for whatever reason, Jamal Williams wasn't it. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes you're the hot dog and sometimes you're the hallway. And this weekend, we were the hallway.
All right, I'm not going to follow that up with the joke I was about to ask Kevin because that was too good. What about the defense? I mean, Kevin, I saw – so 2 weeks ago we had people calling for the ouster of Mike Pettin.
Yeah.
Sunday, I believe I saw a call for, the disembowelment of Mike Pettin. People were not fans of the way the defense, A, couldn't tackle, and B, just simply couldn't stop the run.
Yeah. Well, and as much as I fought you guys a couple weeks ago with how well they had played situationally, they played like a giant shit sandwich situationally this past game. And it was just brutal. I mean, how did they ever not score?
Did they?
They punted. They punted a couple times.
I mean, yeah, but like when it mattered, they did not score. Basically, like it was just terrible. I mean, and the offense, like you say, Chris, they score on their first 2 drives, and you can't score every single drive. At some point, it's just demoralizing, and you have to fucking do something.
Cook had 30 rushing attempts.
And that's coming off of an injury. This was his first game back after a pulled groin. Which, I mean, how?
Look, if there's someone in the chat that can find the last time a Packers running back had 30 attempts in a game, I don't know how far you'd have to go. Like leather helmet times. I mean, maybe not, but still, 30 attempts by running back is obscene.
I mean, definitely pre-Mike McCarthy era. I mean. Lindy and Fonte, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's not a thing that we do. And why wouldn't you if Dalvin Cook's popping off 9 yards a run? I mean, it's
right.
He
was on the days 163 yards on 30 attempts for 5.4 yards per attempt and 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's a career for some running backs, and he did it in a game against the Packers. And meanwhile, the Packers were rushing the ball reasonably well, but they just couldn't stop Cook. And, you talked about situational football. Kevin, this team just couldn't tackle, like, in any situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was just bad all around. It was almost as if they had looked beyond this game to another game.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think you look past the game in a division game.
No, I mean, I don't either, honestly, but it certainly looked that way. That's the way they played.
They just had there was no urgency to them at all. There was no, like, on the defensive side, especially, they looked disinterested. They didn't look, it was just really hard to watch guys with, Adrian Amos just missed tackle. He looked like Ha Clinton Dix back there. It was bad, and it was really, Kamal Martin had a decent game, for a rookie inside linebacker, but other than that, there's nobody to make tackles. And it was, I don't know where the fuck the Smith brothers have gone to. Where the Smith brothers from last year, man? Like, where the fuck did those guys go?
I don't know. And I don't know what's going on. Like, what's the solution? How do you fix this defense? That's my concern, because it seems like a more fundamental problem. But we keep getting back to this. It's every 3 years we say we think the defense is getting better, and it never even gets to mediocrity level. Kev?
So I've got one idea that they could do to fix this, right?
Okay.
Do you remember that giant fat guy, Denny, from Jerry Springer? They could just hire him and put him in the middle of the field. One guy takes up like 4 offensive linemen.
Well, I think we had the same discussion about hockey goalies.
We did, but we didn't apply it, and I thought maybe we could have it discussion about football, and it's
Okay, so
relevant.
now Denny, rest in peace. I think is dead. I think he's been dead. But let's just take a
can't hear you.
typical big giant fat guy. How would you use him in a football game?
I'll tell you what I would do with him.
Yes?
I would put I would hook up a contraption to his helmet that would have like a fishing rod that at the end of it would be like a hoagie, and I would give him the football and just let him go. Just let him fucking go, and he'll just get touchdown. That'll be the play. It'll be like 42 Genoa salami, and he'll just fucking run, and he'll never get.
You missed James' suggestion because you had to log back in. I'm going to repeat it because I think I want your question. I want your feedback. Oh boy. Something's not going on.
I don't know what's going on.
Can't hear us?
There's these. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I mean these headphones that I have, they're wired, and it's like 1984 up in here.
I'm wearing a pair of headphones from Five Below that squeeze my head so hard at the end of the show it's elongated.
You look like Peyton Manning. No. So what were you guys saying? Tell me.
So James's suggestion for using a big fat guy in an NFL game is the old fishing rod on the helmet with snack contraption.
Okay, all right.
But I haven't read the NFL rule book cover to cover recently, but I would think that that's probably not allowed.
I think that's a valid assumption that would be like some sort of modification to the uniform.
Yeah.
Like in the same way that you can't cover an offensive lineman in butter, right?
Oh, no, I've got to time out because this has never happened before, but we had a chug request. James is drinking Maker's Mark out of the bottle.
This is where I'm at.
This is going well. He's holding up well.
Look, it's fucking election night. I'm nervous as hell. The Packers got destroyed by a 1-5 team with Kirk Cousins as the quarterback. Kevin's earphones don't work. I'm still morbidly obese. I'm just fucking drinking.
Kev, did I see something coming in over the wire?
Yeah, I've got. Whenever you've got a moment, I've got some news coming across the wire. Is it this? Which year was? I don't remember.
TTSO's Decision 2020 coverage is presented by Capri Sun Fruit Punch. Made with 100% juice, Capri Sun is the sensible and delicious choice for families on the run.
TTSO's data analysts are now indicating that many residents of Blue Ball, Pennsylvania, are unsuccessfully making a 16-minute drive to Intercourse, Pennsylvania, to cast their ballots. They're being turned away in the ultimate of ironies.
Wow, that. Pennsylvania swing state. Important to know these things.
Those poor blue balls, they never get what they're looking for. I don't think. It doesn't seem like.
I have been to both Intercourse and Blue Ball.
I'm sure you have.
Now, in which order were you there? Were you at blue ball first and then at Intercourse?
Blue Ball first.
I mean, you have to be, right?
Because you can't go to Intercourse and then go to Blue Ball.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Are we missing some sort of election update? Because
I don't know.
Boy.
I was looking at my state of Wisconsin and wondering where the fuck we went wrong. That's all.
I'm worried.
I've been worried, guys. I've been worried.
Whatever. So our democracy died 3 years ago. Let's go to the callers.
Who cares?
See what they have to say. What else? What else do we need to talk about with this game? I mean, other than it was a disaster from beginning to end, basically. I mean,
It was bad.
Is this defense fixable? Like, is there something that can be done to correct the problems that I mean, if it's lack of heart, you can't fix that, right? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, you can't like, there's nothing you can work on in practice to make people want to play harder. And this is kind of what I was saying last week with, the lack of leadership. I don't think Pettin's the guy. I just don't think I think he's got a Rottweiler bark and a toothless Chihuahua bite. I mean, his guys, I was just looking at teams like Tampa or, Pittsburgh, they come out and they want to fuck you up. Like, they don't care. And Green Bay's defense seems to their whole goal is to not like give up 70 points a game. That's pretty much what they do.
And when you fail, that's really bad. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know whether it's all personnel or whether it's all scheme, but it seems like leadership is lacking in a way that they're just not motivated enough. They weren't ready for that game, and I don't know why. I don't know. That's the game they should be most prepared for. It's a division game against a rival. It's at home. I mean, I know home and away is a little different than it used to be, but still, Kevin, this is the game that they should be ready for.
Yeah, it's disappointing. The division game, like if it was against like the Chargers or something and they laid an egg, that'd be one thing.
Right.
But the division game is really what sticks in my craw.
All right, so we come out of this game, and then we find out later that A.J. Dillon's got the Rona. And now, James, because of the NFL protocols, are you seeing something bad about the election here? What are you saying?
No, just fucking talk about AJ Dillon and the Rona, and I got it.
Oh, that makes you drink too. Jesus, you're going to be dead by the end of the night. All right, AJ Dillon gets the Rona, and now here's what I heard. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I think I'm right. Which they took a test Sunday morning before the game, but they don't get that result till after the game.
That is correct.
How does that make any sense?
It doesn't, and I don't know why. Why even bother?
Guys, it's the protocol. It's the protocol.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the protocol.
Yeah, but just because you call it the protocol doesn't mean it doesn't.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The protocol is just don't give a fuck. Right.
Here's an idea. Why don't we test Saturday night? Like, at least then I'll get my results before the game, before I wrestle grown men. I mean,
well, I mean, that's probably going to happen anyway.
I'd still wrestle grown men, but I wouldn't do it on a football field. That's what I'm saying. And I'd wear
a mask.
Right. So I don't. Okay. I got to play this. I got to show this clip. In this comment. But so now Jamal Williams and who else?
Kamal Martin.
Kamal Martin are now. They will not play on Thursday if there's a game. We'll get to that later because they're also, I believe, Kevin, in the protocol.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. Sorry. The protocol, yeah.
So they're in the protocol. So they're not playing. So the only running back, if Aaron Jones can't play, it is a full night, 100% Swerve and Irvin, 30 carries, 137 yards is what he's going to do.
Oh, it's Dexter Williams is going to come in too, and nobody's going to know who he is.
You've got a 1-2 punch like Swerve and Irvin and Dexter Williams. It's almost unfair.
Yeah, I mean they should outlaw that. The Williams Dexter, the Dexter Irvin connection.
Right. It's not right. But seriously,
relax, because it's not like the 49ers have ever really beaten us badly recently.
Well, but to be fair, the 49ers, half of their roster is on the IR right now. This is a very, very winnable game. If you have to play the 49ers, this is when you want to get them, when like all of their skill players are hurt. But back to A.J. Dillon and the Ronas. The protocol is ridiculous. First of all, I mean, we knew that, but why are they holding meetings? Because the reason that Jamal Williams now can't play is because they're in the meeting room together. So right. Why isn't every meeting remote?
Because the snack machines are at Lambeau Field.
I mean, really, every meeting, even if you're all at Lambeau Field, I'm sure they got a lot of rooms.
Where are the players going to shower if they're not at the stadium?
My house?
James with the open invitation for for Packers to go and shower at his house.
So Libby mentions in the chat that Ripper isn't doing anything if you need a running back. He lives in his truck and live streams video games. First of all, he's living the dream.
Ripper, yeah, he still has a ripped body, and he has a fantastic beard. And he plays Warzone 1,000 times better than I ever fucking could.
I mean, that's,
I mean, you guys have seen me play Call of Duty. It's pretty bad. So
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot better, though, James.
I know. I've graduated from...
You're better than me. So, for all the criticism I'm going to give you, I'm pretty wretched.
I don't think I'm better than you.
Well, we've been playing Rocket League a lot, and you play Call of Duty when you're by yourself, and we play Rocket League when we're by ourselves right now.
Yes, that's true.
And so
Rocket League is fucking great.
I play Rocket League by myself a lot.
Put the call out to people to play Rocket League, and no one has taken us up on it. Are we just that uncool?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a small section of people who both listen to our show and play Rocket League, right? I mean,
it's a small number of people who listen to our show, so you're right.
well, yeah.
What else the hell did I want to talk about? Okay, so let's get down to, will the Packers play on Thursday? They've got several players in the coronavirus protocol, and to the point where they almost don't have running backs. Is it a matter of whether they get another positive test? Like, if they keep testing negative, are they going to play on Thursday? It seems ridiculous to play the game at this point. But then again, I want to just get out of a Thursday night game.
Right. Well, Matt LaFleur has said the last 2 days that they have had no indications that it's getting moved, and they're preparing as if it's going to happen. I mean, they would need to travel, I think, tomorrow. So
right.
It's in the protocol, guys. It's part of the protocol. But like, that's the thing. Like, the fact that they even are trying to have Thursday night games in the middle of this is just a joke.
Yeah, that was what makes the least sense. The more that I think about it, the more silly it is to have Thursday night games.
Yeah.
There's,
I mean, like that's all the thing. Like, test on Sunday morning, like, but don't get the results until after the game. Like, it's all so silly. Like, it's all just a veneer over like the real issues. And like, if you really want to take it seriously, then you actually have to like allow the virus to incubate the way that it would, and you can't just after 20 minutes of being in contact with this guy, I took a test and I don't have it, I'm good to practice.
Right. And that's how they're treating it, because they're okay with some breakouts. They're okay with players getting sick as long as it doesn't get too out of hand and they have to stop the season.
As long as they don't look bad when it happens in Tennessee, like when it happens in Tennessee.
Yeah, that was bad. But then again,
and then they go after the players. But that's the thing, like, they go after the players for it. But like, we know that the NFL's protocols are flawed and meaningless when this shit happens anyway.
Right.
So for them to go after the players is such a bullshit Bush League move, because everybody, like, you knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
You can't expect it to not happen.
Oh wait, hold on. I don't know if did you? I'm sorry, I saw you leaving.
Yep.
There.
I did.
A cable?
I did, yes. I was fixing yep.
Okay.
You're watching the TTSO Decision 2020 special, because nothing gets us harder than watching the polls throb with young first-time voters.
Oh.
A measure to ban unsolicited dick pics was unsuccessful in the 21st Congressional District of Texas. Some residents, including those of the community of Ding Dong, were afraid it would affect the local economy and their job security.
I mean, you have to always look out for the economy in Ding Dong.
Ding Dong. Watch the Ding Dong.
I mean, the Ding Dong is unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen down there.
So, Kev, do you think the Packers play a game on Thursday?
I mean, probably. I don't.
Called the best color guy in the business for nothing.
I mean, it doesn't seem like at this point anybody's
like cares.
Super into it. So maybe they'll play on Wednesday. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Talking about they could move it back to Monday. Like it could be done without an interruption to the schedule.
But like, that's the thing, Chris. Like, if he's got it, you should wait 3 to 7 days. Like, you need to wait 7 days to figure out who else has it. But they're not interested.
So you should look for the Packers to have an outbreak like mid next week.
I think that's pretty reasonable expectation to have. I mean, we're not. I mean, I think the positive tests will start coming in towards then. Sure.
So as we've already talked about it a little bit, but let's where the hell was I going with that sentence? That was a Michael Scott sentence, I will admit. I didn't know what I was going to say, and I figured my brain would catch up, and it didn't. So, what was I going to say? You guys want a pad for me? Just yell Packers or go Pack Go for a little bit while I figure out.
What really grinds my gears is that the trading deadline was today.
Well, that is next up on my list, so we can talk about that.
And not only did the Packers, first of all, let's put this whole thing to bed about getting Will Fuller from the Texans.
I want to stop before you even start. I'm sorry. I'm going to do a little bit of a James style rant before we get to the main topic, and that is about Packers Twitter. I have met some wonderful people on Twitter, Packers related people. Many of them are in the chat here. One of them is on the podcast with me. Packers Twitter is a cesspool and is the worst place on the internet outside of places where you see like illegal shit happening. It's the most negative. Like you guys would, if they made a trade today, you would have criticized the trade for being too expensive for the Packers, but they didn't mortgage their lives, and you get pissed off. Like it is so obnoxious to write to watch, and the beat writers are worst of all. Like the little snarky ass beat writers and their bullshit insiders club where they all blah, 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 blah. And then, Aaron Nagler pretends to be I'm a beat writer too. And everybody's like, no, you're not. But he's like, but I'm going to do stuff anyway. Oh God, I hate it. Anyway, James, go ahead.
That was fantastic. I like that a lot.
Did you like my impression? Is that accurate?
Yeah, that was good. I call that the seizure prone robot. Will Fuller, it would have been dumb to get him. The Texans wanted a second-round pick for him, which is just insane.
Which essentially is a second-round pick for a rental player.
Right. It's insane. And so, they made the right call not doing that. Now, they did not go get any defensive help, which really bothers me. And there were linebackers who are better than who we currently have that got traded for peanuts in the past couple days. And it just really, really bugs me. And I don't know what they did. Maybe they went out and did the legwork and they tried. Maybe they did. And they just didn't. They struck out. I get that. But to go forward with this team and stand pat with the defense the way it is after what they have shown really since the NFC Championship game from last year, it strikes me as they're cool with going 11-5 and flaming out in the playoffs again, and that really bugs me.
Do you think there were pieces out there for the defensive side of the ball that would have made this Packers team a considerably better team, or are we talking small upgrades?
Like Denny, the guy from Jerry Springer?
I think Denny would have been, yeah.
Don't forget the fishing rod.
Well, yeah, the fishing rod. Well, I mean, you can get that from anywhere, really.
What would you bait it with? Okay, I'm your fat guy. You know nothing about me other than I show up on game day. I'm the fat guy. You need to get, a fishing rod with some sort of snack. What I'd like you to do is choose the snack, and I'll tell you how many yards I'm rushing for.
Okay, so for you, I'm going. On the end of that fish hook, I'm gonna put a Little Debbie oatmeal cream pie.
I mean, wow. Have we had this discussion?
I would put a king size oatmeal cream pie.
You've both chosen what would be my second choice. James, I'd rush for at least 150 yards.
My real answer would have been a Twinkie, but that's kind of stereotypical.
What about a McRib?
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah.
The problem is though, you would catch it and you'd eat it, and then you'd be done. And like they'd be like, "Hey, where's Chris? He's on the sideline with the fishing hook in his mouth, like trying to in the blue tent. They're like trying to get it out." Yeah.
You'd end up on the injury report with fishing hook penetration.
Next time, this guy's tired. No need for this hook. Like, why did you put a hook on it in the first place?
You have a single bar so you could still eat through there. That'd be a good idea.
Those are good choices. James, what snack would we need for you to rush for at least 100 yards?
Oh boy, I'm gonna assume that I'm in shape because I'm in the NFL, so I'm not on this current diet that I'm on. And
well, you are on the diet, and we want to make your ass move down the field, so I'm going to tempt you like a box of fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ooh, that's good. I'd probably run further if it was a box of Fruity Pebbles, but. I think for me, it would probably be. I'm gonna go with the current craving that I've had the last 3 days, and I can't fucking shake is a Big Mac. So let's throw that on that. Let's throw that on the.
Big Macs are good. That's why. Kevin, what snack would make you run?
Oh, man,
not give you the runs. That's a Crunchwrap Supreme.
It's a good one. My favorite food are hamburgers. So if that counts. Probably like a nice big juicy cheeseburger. That would be my answer.
What's your favorite burger establishment, like a chain that we would be able to? I'm not talking about like Burger King, but like
I like we have a Clark Burger near us, and that's like they've got like poutine and like and
Well,
like
Kevin, before I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm getting word that we have breaking news.
yeah. I'm getting I got satellite headphones, so they're a little delayed.
You're following TTSO's special coverage of the 2020 election. Ever been in a public restroom and got the feeling someone was watching you? That was me. This is Decision 2020.
TTSO is ready to call its first race of the evening with 69% of Wisconsin precincts returning. The residents of Wisconsin have overwhelmingly voted the Bears still suck.
Nice. I like that because that is, for the podcast, that's the equivalent of the, good evening Kansas City screamed at a concert. You're always going to get a cheer. See, people are always going to feel good about that one. So
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's called a cheap pop in wrestling terms.
a cheap pop in other terms, though, is where you can find an inexpensive hand job. So let's go to the
That was my wife's screen name.
expensive hand job.
Just a helpful tip, not in blue ball.
Yeah, hey, don't pay up front blue ball. Trust me on that one. Learn that.
You pay on delivery in blue ball.
So Will Fuller, they were asking for a second to rent him for the rest of the year. That was ridiculous. I think there were some other competition thrown back to the Packers, but it sounds like Gutekunst was on the phone and trying to make a deal, and it just didn't come to fruition. What pisses me off the most is these armchair GMs complaining that the Packers didn't try. You don't know what they did.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and that's what really it's really irritating every single year when, that. Like, I've heard nothing but, Jared Cook, for the last 2 years or 3 years. Well, we offered more money to Jared Cook than the Saints did. He chose to go down there himself. He wanted that extra year. So he went down to New Orleans. It's not like they're not trying. I think they are in some cases, but again, with the defense, I don't know after the last couple games, what they did in the draft this year is even more puzzling to me. Why would you trade for Will Fuller but not draft a wide receiver when there's 400 of them?
Right.
It's silly.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good point. Like, why wouldn't you take one of the many good wide receivers who are available in the draft? And I guess the argument could be made that it takes longer for a wide receiver to have an impact. I guess that's a valid argument there, but you're going to need a wide receiver to make an impact in a couple of years. You better also be drafting him now anyway. Like, we're going to need help in that room.
You don't not draft one of the 7, potential elite wide receivers and then, go out in the middle of the season and sign a decent wide receiver or trade for him and give up a second-round draft pick. That's silly.
All right, guys, this is a bonus show, and for almost 40 minutes, we've talked like straight Packers. We had our, we digressed, but that's what we do.
Elias,
so if you guys are okay, we'll take this last segment, and I'd like to find out what Halloween was like in the pandemic for you guys. If you did anything, before we go to that segment, Kevin, we've got some more news coming in over the wire.
TTSO's Decision 2020. Swabbing the knob of democracy until we gag on the results.
TTSO data analysts have examined thousands of data points from hundreds of unique sources, and we're now able to say with certainty that the voting-themed porn on the internet could probably be a little bit better.
I mean, look, I actually found Fill My Box with Your Chad to be an extremely astute film. It had a plot.
In 2020 had some good twists.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I appreciate it. I thought that,
You say Stuff Me With Your Chad or something like that.
Electoral College Sluts 5 was actually
Electoral co-eds.
Now, I would take a minute and say to everybody listening to that, I don't believe in that. Was a terrible word. I don't like using it.
No,
It
no,
was,
but
it was the joke. It was the joke.
Movie.
Right.
Yeah, and that's art, so it's okay. So what did you guys? So for my Halloween, not that anybody cares, but it was kind of chill. I really actually liked it. We didn't want to do full trick or treating because I didn't want to walk around getting diseases in the pandemic.
Smart.
So we had like 4 houses on our street that people are really good, that the kids went to, and then we pulled our fire pit. We have a fire table from the back deck into my driveway, and I just sat there. And we had a table with a bowl full of prepackaged candies for everybody, and basically I just got to sit with music playing in front of a fire pit all night. It was pretty beautiful.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, we did a fire pit, and we didn't do any trick or treating, but we did like some games in the backyard, and we did like a piñata, and we ended up with more candy than we would have.
What did the
Had
girls
we gone trick or treating? What'd you say, Chris?
What did your girls do?
Oh, I get it.
That was a cheap.
Well, they had to set up everything for me, so they did the piñata. They used their allowance to buy that. No.
Did they really?
No, I'm just kidding.
You got a kid to buy you candy?
No, I bought it for myself. It was my own, because like when you're in control of buying the candy for everyone, then you get to choose the good stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
So I've figured out, like, I like the I think my favorite Halloween candy, like Reese's Cups, are really good, but they're not my favorite Halloween candy. I'm digging the miniature, like the real teeny ones. And hear me out here,
Okay.
Milky Ways. And the reason is because they're just like little caramels, and they're real delicious.
That's one of the few candy bars I would argue might be better as a mini than it is as a
yeah, I agree.
Because the Milky Way is too much, whatever, nougat or whatever the bullshit that is. Like, it's too much filler.
Too much milky, not enough whey.
Exactly, I guess. James, what did you guys do?
Well, I worked all day. So my wife took my kids. Well, actually, no. My oldest son went to with his friend. He has a group of 3 other friends, and they all decided they wanted to be the Teletubbies, so they were the Teletubbies.
That's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, he was the purple one. And then my youngest son and my wife went to my youngest son's best friend's house, and they went trick-or-treating like safely around the neighborhood and just hung out. I stayed at home, and I tried to keep my dog from tearing everything up, because for her, Halloween is worse than the 4th of July. So,
why? Because people knocking on the door?
Yeah, she does not like that. So
yeah, my dog doesn't like people walking down the street. So
my dog is, so my older dog is completely deaf now. So when she wants something, a dog will like whine or like brush up against you. When she wants something, she just barks at full volume. She can't hear can't hear a thing. So imagine if you lived with like a toddler and they were incapable of asking you for anything other than with a full scream. That's kind of what I deal with every day with this dog. And like, then I'll find myself yelling at the dog, and Amanda's like, she can't fucking hear you. She can't hear the goddamn doorbell. You think she can hear you yelling at her? I'm like, oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, but our dog, our Beagle Jack, that died about a year ago, he was he went totally deaf in the last few years, and he would do the same thing, and I would yell at him too, and it did. Yeah.
What do I do? Okay,
it did no good.
Milky, is that your favorite Halloween candy, or do you have?
No. That's what I'm digging the most this year, right? Because we didn't get the huge variety that we normally would, right? We got like probably a quarter of the variety that we got, and so of all the things that we have, that right now is when I'm digging through the pile. That's what I'm reaching for.
Oh, I lost audio on you, Chris.
I did too, but then I turned my headphones and I heard him again. No, I can't hear you either.
Cannot hear Chris. So I'm going to vamp momentarily. My favorite Halloween candy now in my current iteration of life is water. It's water is amazing, and it's hydrating. But you know what? It's not nearly as good as Maker's Mark, which
goes well with water, is my understanding.
Right, it is a quality bourbon. for inexpensive prices, and I much like it out of the bottle.
Wait, I can't see him, but I can hear him.
I heard that.
All right, hold
Yeah.
on. I got to figure out where am I?
You're trapped in a different dimension.
Wait, I stopped video. Now, if I start video again, where'd my video go? I mean, it's probably better for everybody. USB camera, yeah, USB camera.
So this is
There
called
he
break.
is.
This is called breaking the fourth wall, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, let's get back to our important discussion about Halloween and its candies. So I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to get myself. What is your favorite Halloween candy? God damn it!
I just said water.
Yeah.
If you had to choose like a real Halloween, like I know you're fighting the good fight, but what is your favorite? Like I would steal from my child candy.
It's Kit Kats are usually my go-to. I love a Kit Kat. I love a Kit Kat. I also love so I have to split it up into chocolate, non-chocolate. Like chocolate Kit Kats, Twix are really good, but I'm gonna get a lot of pushback on this. Maybe not from you, Chris, because I know the other night when we were playing Rocket League, you spewed them all over yourself. But I love Smarties a lot.
I didn't spew them all over. The package opened not well, just opened.
Guys, my wife likes Good and Plenty's.
Whoa.
She must have perfect teeth then.
It's so disturbing.
Do you have yeah, we'll talk about divorce attorneys after we get off the air. Wow, that makes me feel uncomfortable. You leave her around your children?
I mean, that way I don't have to take care of them.
Is she yeah.
I'm trying to think of what like other gross. Like, you get like old people candies. Like Werther's Original are delicious, even if they are old people candy. But like, what are the ones like the sugar dad? Like sugar daddies, sugar babies, like those
sugar mamas, sugar uncles.
1850 and haven't changed since.
Yeah.
We're like, ooh, yeah. In 1940, we had to change our extremely racist mascot, but we kept everything else the same. We didn't upgrade the flavor. It still tastes like wax and honey, but more wax than honey.
Yeah. It's like those conversation hearts.
Those are gross.
Yeah.
I don't hate those.
I'm not judging.
Did either of you dress up for Halloween?
Yes, I did. Oh, I have a good costume. Okay, my costume was actually pretty good. Okay. So I had a last year I had volunteered at my church's vacation Bible school, and I played the part of like some like Greek merchant or something, and I had like this white robe. So I decided in red Sharpie on the front of it, I would write Houston with the number 24, and I would carry around a basketball. And I tied a little sash around my waist, and I carried around the rebounding commandments, and I went as Moses Malone. That was my costume.
I get that, and I like it.
Yeah, and actually, the reason why I went with Houston 24 is because it's literally the first Google image that I imaged. And then I later learned that he played for Milwaukee at one point in his career too. He played for like 65 years, so I think he played for every team twice.
He did.
Hold on. Yep, Kevin. I think we're getting our final news update of the evening.
I'm hearing it too.
This is TTSO's Election Erection 2020 coverage. Here to massage your election coverage boner to completion with a smile and warm, moist towel.
Wow. All right, I like
that. You weren't even trying for subtlety on that one. I like it.
I told you they got progressively worse. While the people of Puerto Rico are voting to become a state, the people of Dildo, Newfoundland, Canada are also looking for ways to thrust themselves into the spotlight this election cycle. They will be voting on whether or not they want to merge with the nearby town of South Dildo and change their name to Double-Sided Dildo. If this measure passes, they will also have to vote on a new town motto, as their current motto of "Our name will never change" will be rendered obsolete. Dildo, Newfoundland is a real place. The other thing's not real.
no matter which side of town you are, when you're in double-sided dildo, you're in for a good time. That's what I like about that place.
Oh, you're dating that guy? He's from the wrong side of the dildo.
That guy's an asshole.
So anyway, Libby Pillar mentioned in the chat that they had to cancel their big party. So they do an elaborate Halloween party every year. And not only does she do an amazing costume, but her parents do. Like they're all in on I was never a huge Halloween guy, but I enjoy the spectacle of Halloween. Like I like watching, and then like every third or fourth year, I'll put together a really good costume. But that's it. Then the next 2 years, I won't dress up at all.
Yeah.
Because I hate forcing it.
If I don't come up with a costume like 2 hours before Halloween, I don't have a costume. Like my best costumes come up like right before. Okay. Yeah. Like I actually, my plan, I had an old pair of basketball shoes from Moses Malone. I was going to cut out sandals out of my old basketball shoes, but I didn't have time to do that. That would have
been extra commitment. That would have been good.
Real quick, Chris. Chris in the comments says the TTSO news desk is presented by Would you mind playing number 3 for Chris? He must have joined us late. He or she must have joined us late. Sorry.
TTSO's Decision 2020 coverage is presented by Capri Sun Fruit Punch. Made with 100% juice, Capri Sun is the sensible and delicious choice for families on the run.
Did you gentlemen, before we get out of here, prepare a look at this fucking guy for the episode?
I did not, but I will come up with something on the fly.
That's all right. If Kevin's got, we can go with one. I'd rather quality over quantity.
That's good.
All right.
This show than anyone else, so I think it's time. So that's it. We'll get out of here.
Look at this fucking guy.
Kevin, this fucking guy is usually someone who has done something either like ridiculously awfully. Look at this fucking guy, or like could be, wow, look at this fucking guy. So
yeah. So in this case, it's like, sometimes people say things, you're just like, look at this fucking guy. Like, come on, who are you? This week's winner is former Chicago Bear and current Baltimore Raven Pernell McPhee. He said on Friday that the Ravens-Steelers rivalry is the best in football because the Packers-Bears rivalry isn't nearly as physical as Baltimore and Pittsburgh. In his 6 games versus the Packers, Pernell McPhee was 1-5 with 3 sacks and 18 combined tackles. So maybe
he froze.
Oh, that's a good freezing point too.
Good freeze. He froze just as he was coming to climax.
It's like the end of an episode of Chips.
I wish. Let's all freeze. Hold on. Good. Now he'll feel comfortable when he comes back. Should we end the episode before he comes back? Because I don't even know how to handle this. This isn't in the handbook.
I mean, I think that.
I think this is what we need to do first of all. I can make them. I'm pretty sure they can still hear us.
That needs to be the header on all of our internet everything.
So there's Kevin. I feel uncomfortable. I think it's time to end the show. This is a great bonus show. The world is probably falling down around us in the real world. But thanks for everybody who joined us. We had a lot of people in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Our patrons, remember, will get this in their podcast feed either tomorrow or the following day. Everybody else, you can watch it on YouTube. But thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Before we get out of here.
I'm going to be really depressed soon, so let's fucking drink.
All right, let's fucking drink. Wait, where's the... You got a pad more. I can't find the end of the show. Oh, wait.
The preceding podcast was a production of Productions Institute, LLC. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved. Don't steal our crap.
They bang, they bang. Oh, baby, they move, I go crazy.